All right, let's get right into it. When you hear power washing, what comes to mind? Probably just a person with a wand, blasting some dirt off a driveway. Seems pretty simple. But what if I told you that's barely scratching the surface? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what professional exterior cleaning is really all about. And trust me, it's a whole world of chemistry, environmental law, and some serious business smarts. It's way, way more than just a fancy garden hose.
To really get a feel for what the pros are up against, just look at this quote from a real-world case study. It was thick, slippery, and extremely nasty. We're not talking about a little mildew on a patio here. This is about a huge kitchen grease spill. And honestly, those 5 words just perfectly set the stage for a job that needs a whole lot more than just muscle.
So this extremely nasty spill is going to be our guide today. It's the perfect way to peel back all the hidden layers of expertise that really separate a true professional from, some guy who just bought a pressure washer last weekend. So here's the scene. A crew is emptying a dumpster, and boom, they knock over these huge barrels of used kitchen grease. We're talking thick, gross, organic gunk everywhere. Now, this isn't just ugly. It's a real and immediate hazard. It's going to attract all sorts of pests, bugs, rodents, and it creates a massive slip-and-fall risk for anyone who walks by. This is the exact kind of thing that requires a professional to show up and fast. And that brings us to the first and maybe most surprising layer of complexity. You can't just point a hose at this kind of mess and hope for the best. A true pro knows that their most important tool isn't high pressure, it's chemistry. You absolutely have to understand what the grime is made of on a molecular level to actually get rid of it. And here's a perfect example of what I mean. To you and me, grease is just grease, right? But to a professional cleaner, there's a world of difference. The organic grease from a kitchen, from animal fats, is totally different chemically than the synthetic petroleum-based gunk that leaks from a car. You can't use the same cleaner on both and expect it to work. For our spill, the team needed a very specific degreaser, one that's designed to break down those exact fats. Look at the precision here. This is not guesswork. The crew doesn't just grab a product. They calculate the exact mixture needed. This spill was so bad, they had to double the normal dose. They're using special equipment, like a chemical-resistant jug, and they know that the powder has to be completely dissolved or it just won't work right. See? Every single step is deliberate. It's literally applied science. Okay, so we've got the chemistry down. But now we get to something even more serious, something most people have probably never even considered: the law. Yep, professional exterior cleaning is a heavily regulated industry, and it's for a very, very good reason: protecting our water. It's such a simple question, isn't it? But the answer has huge consequences. Think about it. After you've used all those chemicals and high pressure to lift up the grease and the grime, you're left with this, toxic soup. And where you put that contaminated water is the difference between doing a legal, responsible job and committing an environmental crime. This is something everybody should know. Storm drains and sanitary sewers are not the same thing. The storm drains you see on the left, they're just there to stop streets from flooding. That water goes straight, untreated, into our local creeks and rivers. Dumping wash water down there is completely illegal. But the sanitary sewers on the right, they lead to a treatment plant that filters out all the bad stuff. Professionals know how to tell them apart, and they know how to get the right permissions to use them safely. To make sure everyone follows the rules, the whole industry operates under something called Best Management Practices, or BMPs. And listen, these are not just friendly suggestions. They are required procedures. A professional contractor is going to pre-clean the area, block off any nearby storm drains, and have a whole system set up to contain and collect every single drop of dirty water. And this is what that looks like in the real world. That thing on the ground is called a vacuum boom. It acts like a dam to keep all the water in one place. Then it all gets sucked up into a reclamation system, filtered and prepped for legal disposal. This is specialized, pretty expensive gear that your average handyman just isn't going to have. And if you're still wondering why this is all such a big deal, here's the bottom line. Look at that number: $5,000. That's the potential fine for 1 day of letting dirty water go down the wrong drain. 1 day. And guess what? If you hire someone who doesn't know these rules, that massive liability, it falls right on your shoulders as the property owner. A real pro protects you from that nightmare. All right, last but not least, let's talk business. Because to land the big commercial or government jobs, these cleaning companies have to operate at a super high level of professionalism. We're talking about a business infrastructure that goes way beyond just owning a pressure washer. Check this out. This table is from a real federal government contract for building maintenance. And you know what? Power washing isn't even its own category. It's tucked in under facility support services right there with janitorial and landscaping. That tells you that to the biggest clients out there, exterior cleaning is just one piece of a much larger professional facility management puzzle.
And getting one of those contracts, it's tough. This is just a sample of what a county might ask for in a bid. You need at least $1 million in liability insurance, full workers' comp, super detailed traffic control plans, references they can actually call, the list goes on. This is the kind of legitimacy and accountability that truly defines a professional operation.
So let's put it all together. The real difference between just some person with a power washer and a true professional really boils down to the three things we've talked about: their technical expertise, their knowledge of environmental laws, and their business smarts. So at the end of the day, when you hire a professional, you're not just paying someone to make a surface clean. You're hiring a chemist who knows the science, you're hiring an environmental steward who protects you from potentially crippling fines, and you're hiring a legitimate business partner who has the insurance, the reliability, and the know-how to manage the entire project the right way from start to finish.
It really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? The next time you see a job that looks simple on the surface, maybe ask yourself, what's the hidden science behind this? What are the unseen rules? And what's the deep expertise that really makes it all work? Thanks for joining me on this one.